Hey everybody, welcome back. This is our 2022 Dodge Challenger Hellcat Redeye Widebody, and today we're going to talk about how we've owned this vehicle for 1 year basically now. So we got our Challenger last year, December 2022. It was under MSRP. I believe we paid $92,400 for it. Granted, adding text tag title was a little shy of 100 grand for this car. So basically, we're about a week from a year anniversary on the dot. We now have just shy of 2,900 miles on this car. We pretty much scoured the country looking for this exact spec car because the dealer told us we were looking at like an 8-month waiting period to actually build one. So we basically searched North America, found the one we were looking for, and it happened to be this one. We ended up getting it under MSRP, just barely, while everybody was asking over MSRP for these cars. So we paid about $92,400 for it, was the price, plus tax tag title, the usuals. Ended up being about $800 under $100,000. You know, for what this car was at the time, it's a great price for it. Everybody else wanted like $110, $120 for one of these. But we got a new car, the spec we wanted, pretty much every box ticked. You know, every add-on package we wanted, the color, the material in the seats, everything, all the options. So, for us, it was worth the money to get exactly what we wanted. Before this, we had a 2016 Hellcat red. Y'all remember the original Hellcats, 707 horsepower. Ours had definitely seen better days. It had been, wrecked on the side, repainted, repaired. That was crazy back when you could get these things for like $55,000, pretty much brand new off the lot. And they were actually under MSRP to begin with. Before, things got crazy. But our other one, once we did some performance stuff to it, it was on E85. The car was rough. And the area we moved to, we didn't really have E85. We barely have premium around here. Premium's a little drive away. Not that big of a thing. We can manage it. But most people around here don't have cars like this. Obvious reasons. But this is pretty much our baby. Like, we don't really drive it much, but when we do, it's, just cruising the back roads, things like that. It's not really a daily driver kind of thing for us, at least. Just because out of all the vehicles I've had, this one's by far my favorite. And with that being said, I try to take care of this and, preserve it. Not necessarily garage keep it, but I just don't take it to, Walmart and stuff where it can get door dinged and, crap like that. I don't daily drive it because I don't want it to get stolen, as everybody knows. We pretty much just take it out when we aren't going to be leaving it parked somewhere, if that makes sense. I mean, you take it to dinner, things like that, but, much more than that, we try not to leave it in parking lots. Hence why we still have it a year later. No issues. We have had 0 issues with this thing, actually. It pretty much sits here in the garage on a trickle charger until we want to drive it. We take it out, bring it back, set it back up. And that's pretty much how this thing goes, how it's been in its life. Much like our C5. But the other thing, when it is cold up here, we try not to drive it too much because, with the power of it, cold tires, raining, you're kind of limited on how much you really want to push it. But through the years, since the Challenger came back out when it did, I love these cars. Like, they were my favorite thing ever. So just through the years, we've progressed until we got to this one, which I'm pretty stoked about that. you can see the mileage there, 2883. Not a whole lot, but it's more than most people put on one of these. At least the actual owners. But overall, I mean, it's been a great experience of ownership. We haven't had any issues, you know, knock on wood. It's pretty much ready to go anytime. It's never really bad from sitting. I mean, we keep trickle chargers on it, things like that. It's garage kept. So, you know, we don't really have to worry too much about taking it out. The cold weather will kill some batteries, but not in this one yet. Moving up here from Florida, our insurance on this dropped significantly. We don't have a loan on it, so that helped take the insurance down a little bit as well. So, you know, overall, it's not too bad owning it. As far as maintenance, little to none. Oil changes. Granted, we don't daily it, but it doesn't really need anything, ever. I think much like a lot of people, I've spent more money probably waxing it and polishing it to get all the little scratches out, doing paint correction, than I actually have spent servicing this car. But honestly, this car right here, it actually really makes me appreciate my 300. Love that car. Very similar to this, but it's a lot more, you know, you can daily it, you can take it to Walmart. You don't have to worry about door dings as much. Kind of is what it is. You can really drive it and not have to worry about whether or not it's going to be out in the parking lot when you get back to it. So in my opinion, the 300 is like the base, you know, bottom level. You know, the version of this you can really daily drive and not have to worry about it. But we like the car so much we had to go get this one. You know, for fun times when we want to go out and enjoy it. That's pretty much our whole purpose to this car is, you know, something fun to keep away. As everybody knows, the values on these are starting to drop. And I'm okay with that. I know we pretty much got ours peak market, you know, worst time in general. That's why we paid for cash for it instead of financing it. Because interest rates were kind of getting outrageous. No sense in that. And honestly, I kind of hope they drop in value so I can get a second one that I can actually use as a beater that's not like my nice mint dream car version. And what, weirdly enough, this car is the most fun, but also it's my most favorite, so I don't really want anything to happen to it. But I would probably buy a second one. I've been thinking about getting a Scat Pack Widebody identical to this just to actually drive it and, you know, beat the crap out of it because that's usually my thing. I'm one of those people, I like to drive vehicles how they're meant to be driven for fun. I'm not really a put it in the garage, store away kind of guy. But this car, I don't know, I just want to with it for some reason. I really hate actually beating on it, just because I know how hard it is to find another one of these, at least in this condition. That's why I'd go get a beater one to play with. So then I have my beater one and then the nice one. But then if I got an identical Scat Pack, people wouldn't really know if I'm driving the Hellcat or the Scat Pack, being I have both. So that would be kind of interesting, I think. Because I'm still kind of looking at new cars. You know, I'm really torn. I really like Chrysler 300 with the panoramic roof, the Hemi, all that stuff. Really been thinking about one of those, but I still kind of go back to the Scat Packs. Not really sure yet. Indigo with the black stripes, these wheels, that interior, that was pretty much what I wanted. If you're thinking about getting one of these, definitely do it. It's a good time. And the values are starting to go down a little bit, make them a little more reasonable. You know, we paid up for it to get one, you know, mint condition, brand new off the lot. So, you know, to each their own. I'll be honest, the biggest issue with this car is the fear-mongering of it being stolen. If you took that out of the equation, I would probably daily drive this thing. But, you know, it is what it is. We live too close to Atlanta for that. As proof, we actually drive it. Can you see how dirty these wheels are right now? Probably need to clean this thing soon. Also, as far as best mods ever, I got some new valve stem caps I'm going to be putting on here. I don't know why. I just wanted to do that. Because I was kind of annoyed when I was looking for them. Most of them say SRT. So I want to change it up. I want to get the actual Hellcat logo over here to put on the valve stem caps. That way it's not SRT there, SRT there, you know, SRT over here. You got to change it up a little bit at least. So I got the kind with the Hellcat logos we're going to put on here. Greatest mod ever. That is sarcasm, by the way. So literally, we've done exhaust on it. We've done some anti-theft precautions. We're going to do the valve stem caps. As you notice, we haven't tinted the windows yet. I don't know if we're going to or not, because usually when we take it out, we're just kind of cruising. Doesn't sit in parking lots in the sun, like. But down here in the south, if you have tinted out windows on Charger, Challenger, anything of this sort, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to get pulled over for something and questioned. So we haven't tinted the windows just because, you know, stigma. We don't want to get profiled like that. So that's why we haven't tinted the windows on here. I don't know if we're going to or not. You know, it does help the look of the car a little bit to have, you know, blacked out windows, blacked out wheels, black stripes. But I'd rather not get pulled over. I don't know. Maybe that's just personal preference. So in about 2 months, we're moving to the new house. I don't know if the car is going to the new house or staying here in the shop. We'll have to see about that, how that shakes out. But either way, if you don't see it in the background of videos anymore, it's just over at the house, not in the shop. So it is what it is. It's not going anywhere. I don't see it going anywhere. It's not going to get repoed because it's paid off. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen, even though we don't really live in one of those areas right now. If somebody tries to steal this thing, like, we are so far out of, you know, population. We're in the middle of nowhere right now. So they're going to have to work for this one. So between where we are in the middle of nowhere, the anti-theft devices on here, and just our lack of taking it out, this is probably going to be the longest lasting Hellcat on YouTube, because it ain't going anywhere. So we probably will be doing our 3,000 mile service here soon. That's coming up probably after New Year's. I would say we'll end up doing that. But I mean, honestly, you know, I love this car. 100 grand for it to just sit here for when I want it. To me, that's worth it. But, you know, to each their own. If you want one mint condition, I would suggest doing it sooner the better. Definitely doing checks on it to, you know, see the history, because there's a lot of shady crap that goes on with these. That was another reason I wanted one when I got it from where I got it. Yeah. Alright, so that's all for today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. If you want to see what we got coming, that's just a little update on this car, what's going on with it, and what we're thinking about it so far.